be working like I don't play. I be playing like I don't work. Baby girl say we can't work. Get a friend up, like what's up? Oh mommy, I know they waste time. Tell that nigga make him take time. I spend money as much as I spend time. A revelation, so you know.
Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of Life Flow Podcast. I am your host, Debbie Dowesi Ajom.
You wanna show that me? Get in line. Get yours cause I'm getting mine. Looking cleaner than your shoe shine. My problem is I'm too fly.
Today's story is number 6 in the short story collection, Villains Highway. You're going to love it. Before we get into it though, please rate this podcast. Give us 5 stars. If you're listening on Spotify, just go to the podcast homepage. You're going to see following, you're going to see a bell, you're going to see an icon that refers to the settings, and after that you're going to see 3 dots. Just click on the dots. You're going to be shown 5 stars. Tap on 5 and then press submit, and that is it. And if you're listening on any other podcast platform, you can still do the same thing. Thank you so much. Don't forget that this is a work of fiction. Names, characters, places, and incidents are a product of my imagination, and I use fictitiously. Any resemblance to actual persons, living or dead, business establishments, or events is entirely coincidental. The title of our story is Madness on the Loose.
As waistline and when her waist wine, you know say I no go waste time. Then they tell me make I take time. Time is money, so I feel like I didn't make time. I waste money, but you know I don't waste time.
Dear Diary, I've neglected you for so long. I'm sorry. I feel even more guilty that I'm here to rant about the injustice that life has caused me to suffer for the rest of my existence. It seems I only remember you when I need an emotional support system, a drum to fill my soul with, but you always accept me with open arms. Thank you for never deserting me. Where do I even begin? So much has happened in the past 6 months. I've been broken, bruised, and betrayed. But I've also been the happiest version of myself. Before I finally got the courage to open you up and pick up my pen, I went through a grief so insurmountable that I felt like my life was being torn apart before my eyes. I don't know how I've survived till this moment, but I'm still alive, so I believe it's time I open up to you. Do you remember Emmanuel? The guy I mentioned briefly in my last entry. The one I said I was crushing on. He had visited my office with his boss and subsequently came back for follow-ups alone. I nicknamed him Emmy. I'm certain you know. Why am I even asking? Anyway, in the end, Emmy, and it breaks my heart to admit it, wasn't the light that brightened up my days full of grey. In fact, he was a dark sky full of impending doom, the storm that rattled my life, changing its trajectory off course, the torrential downpours that drenched not my body but my soul, and eventually, the lightning that struck me with madness. Yes, I am mad. Emmy made me mad. When I was still a sane woman and Emmy had not shown me his supernatural powers, being capable of evoking madness in the women he met, I had loved him with every fiber of my being. It was almost like madness in itself. The way I desired him, his presence and his touch, every single moment while I frustratingly held my disgust for my pervert of a boss in check. While I went to board meetings and wore my best professional smile as I convinced clients to trust us with their hard-earned money. I always broke into a smile at the ping of his brief midday text. Thinking of you. Can't wait to see you later. Have a gorgeous day, gorgeous. Few words, but I would spend the rest of my days gliding around the office, a blinding halo of light illuminating my path. Only his words had such effect on me. Can you imagine that? In his presence, I became a new person. I giggled at his sometimes awkward jokes like they were coming straight out of Kevin Hart's mouth. I adored his tiny ears, his left toes that overlapped each other, and the way he gurgled when he brushed his teeth like he was on the verge of puking. None of these imperfections mattered. I watched him talk, eat, and sleep. I longed to breathe the same air as he. I loved him, and that was it. Emmy was a busy man who worked for a consulting firm. I am a busy woman too, so weekends were our days. We would go to the park or to the movies or to the club or to the pool or whatever we felt like doing. Sometimes we would spend the whole weekend indoors in his apartment in Maitama, bodies entwined at his balcony with the stunning view of Abuja in the distance, not caring about the possibility of someone seeing us from the windows of the tall buildings that surrounded his. Those were the best times of my life. But little did I know that they would become the worst. Every 6 months, I go to hospital for a mandatory full body checkup. Health, they say, is wealth. Before Emmy and I had consummated our relationship, we had the health talk. I never take any chances. He had even presented me his most recent test results that showed he was free from any kind of infectious illnesses. Only then was I satisfied enough to dive into the depths of his love with no shield. If only I'd insisted on taking a fresh test together. If only I hadn't been blinded by lust. If only. I have contracted HIV, and Emmy has disappeared. I used to think people who chant fear men were only being biased and anti-men. Now I know better. I was lost in a cloud of doubt and fear when I received my test results. The doctor was talking about the medication, antiretroviral therapy I would need to be on to manage the virus, since it's still in the early stages of development. But I could vaguely hear him or even see him. I was disoriented. How could this happen? I kept asking myself. I'd been so careful all my adult life. And the one time I decided to let my guard down a bit. I was in shock for days. I called in sick to work. I couldn't eat. I couldn't sleep. Funnily enough, I was even scared to tell Emmy. I knew he would leave me, because I would leave me too if I was in his shoes. Sure, there are ways to be partners with an HIV patient and not contract the virus, but who really wants to take that risk? Eh? It was after 2 days of disorientation and self-sabotage that it dawned upon me that Emmy was the one who had given me the virus. It had to be him. I had no one else. There was no other logical explanation for this. So on the third day, a Saturday, I decided to go and confront Emmy. Maybe we would take a fresh test and see if he also had it. If he'd given it to me. If he didn't, well, maybe we would end it all for good. But Emmy was not home, and neither was his car. The annoying voice of the MTN customer service rep told me his number does not exist. Please check the number and try again. Earlier in the week, we had planned to travel out of Abuja for the weekend. It was going to be something like a couple's retreat with his friends and their partners. He was finally going to introduce me to his friends after 6 months of knowing each other and 3 months of dating. But finally was only a concept, not a reality. I was too lost in my grief to even realize that Emmy had not reached out to me after our brief chat on Tuesday morning, before I had gone for my test results in the afternoon. To be fair, I had deserted him too in my moment of distress, but I knew Emmy was too obsessed with me to let days go by without dropping by my house or office if he could not get me over the phone. I love you, babe, were his final words to me, a secret goodbye. He had known what I would find in the test results, and so he had run away. At his office, I was told he had taken a leave of absence. On social media, he had blocked me. From my life, he had vanished. And with each day that passed, I grew a little madder at this card life has dealt me. I don't deserve this. Why has life chosen to treat me so? It's too unfair. I became a zombie, dead but alive. At work, I went through the days with zero energy, doing what I had to do, but wishing I didn't have to do it all. Last week, my boss asked me why I am always looking weary and stressed. Why I've lost my spark. Abi, you don't chop breakfast. He had said and burst out laughing. I had smiled, locked his office door, and straddled him. Every man deserves to have a feel of this madness. This madness that the agenda has cursed me with. I started with my boss, then the random guy at the club who smacked my butt, then the client who would only give us a part of his money if I gave him a part of myself. And now, I'm on a mission to spread this madness to every single man that comes my way. I never asked to be made mad. I only asked to be loved, genuinely and healthily. But Emmy clearly didn't get the memo. This is how he chose to repay me. Now I am a mad woman on the loose.
Sweet, still talking like a grapevine. I stay blessed and I don't know what stress like. Living my best life, so blessed I don't know what stress like.
Hey there, if you made it this far, you have come to the end of episode 6 of Villain's Highway. But don't go yet. We would like to know your thoughts in the comment section. Did you enjoy the story? Would you have done the same thing if you were in the narrator's shoes? Would you have acted differently if you were in Emmy's shoes? Let me know in the comments. Share this episode to anyone you know that loves stories or who would actually enjoy this. We upload new episodes every 2 weeks, so please hit the follow and subscribe buttons so you stay informed when we drop a new episode. Shoot us a message on Instagram or TikTok at lifelaw_podcast if you would love to collaborate with us or place an advert with us. Thank you so much for listening. Until I come your way next time, I remain Debbie Torisi Ajum, and this has been Life Law Podcast.
If you stress me, I will stress you first. You know I came in last, but they still beat me first. They say talk is cheap, but man, not my word.